Okay, so before the break, we were looking at some different options, things that were available. To get social media, music, and videos, and pre-made things we might want to include in our web pages. Whoops. And over the break there, I did figure out why that last widget wasn't working. I put this on here and was wondering why it wasn't scrolling. And I was like, why is that not working? When we went over here, I scrolled a little bit down and noticed the next one down is the one that was scrolling. That's the one I thought I was copying and pasting from. That way we could see something moving, but we see the stuff flashing. But all this stuff is just readily available for us to copy and paste and use in our websites. So for one thing, I want to make sure there's plenty of time today to make sure it's a nice lengthy lab time, because some of these things might be relevant to your final project. We can go ahead and work them in right after our lecture here. But well, our lecture here, well, the reason we're here is to develop this new skill, and the reason we want to do that is probably to make money with it. So let's look at a couple of things that kind of follow suit here that give us a way to make money with stuff. Selling things on a website. That's we'll just look at a quick basic version. I'll just look at PayPal. I'll search for PayPal button. Oh, it already predicted PayPal button for website. So obviously a very easy thing to find. You do have to have a business PayPal account. Whenever you set up a PayPal account, you can choose personal or business. Why don't these go right to it? There it is. The developer.paypal.com. For some reason, there was a whole bunch of blogs, so I had to scroll down for this one, but you should see a link that's clearly the one for developers. So we have okay, yeah. So the buy now, pay now button. And it has the least instructions. Go to the PayPal account. Those instructions are old. That's why I was searching for it. Select tools and all tools. If I go over to my account, they moved the button from where it used to be. Oh, I guess when I looked as I was getting ready last week, they were in the process of moving buttons because now there's a developer button right here. So set up your PayPal business account, and then you should see this button here over by the profile that says developer. But this stuff changes, so that wasn't there last week when I was getting prepared. And that's not where the instructions just said to look for this stuff. So you do have to watch out for changes and kind of go through for them. I was just looking for the buttons. Nothing to, oh. Yeah, I just went and looked this stuff up the other day, and it was the buttons have moved since then. Nope, I don't want that. Oh, well, this is, I'll have to look for the buttons. Well, you can tell from the things there. They got rid of everything but Android and iOS. They have a way to tie the old JavaScript buttons into an Android button. That's what that other thing that was shown there at first is. But they moved their buttons to someplace I can't seem to find. Right over here. And that's nope, not under there. It has to be under here. I'll come back and look at that button next week because they've moved it since last week. And they had to pay about that. Okay, here we go. They haven't deleted the old page yet, so it's still there. Luckily, I was still signed on. So if you're signed into your account and haven't closed the browser yet, you can just directly Google embed PayPal button, and it goes to the old page that has the buttons. Because for some reason, they seem to have gotten rid of everything except the Android and iOS buttons. Or maybe they're updating it because they're in, even that's in a different spot than it was a week ago. So yeah, it's probably an update and they haven't got the new ones over yet. But it should follow this similar feature. So I'll just click on the buy now button and see there's a whole bunch of options to donate, to subscribe. And kind of like we saw on Facebook, is it's just a little form to fill out and they'll produce the button for us. We saw HTML forms, so you don't get some, you don't know how to make forms like that. Do a buy now button. I'll call it a not reveal item. For $15.98 US. You see a bunch of options there. Customize it, which is really if you have your own image, you can just upload your own image. If you don't want to use the PayPal button, you don't want to use the yellow one, which if you're putting together a whole custom site, probably don't want to use the yellow one. So just have your image ready, the background image of the button. Just have that, the background image of the button ready, the words on the image and everything, just upload that. Then you can use theirs. I'll just go with the default one here. There's a smaller option. See the credit card stuff, language, all of those things. Oh, I don't know. $5 shipping. Let's say 7% tax. Yeah, and I'll stick with the use merchant ID. And basically just fill out the form. Fairly straightforward. The shopping part, y'all probably have a pretty good idea how to put that part of the page together, right? Take a picture of the item you want to sell, and then just load that in an image tag or the HTML picture element with a bunch of the source tag stuff in it. Bunch of the source tags. Sure, save it. If you have a database built up, you can sync your PayPal directly to the database, so it will track the inventory for you and everything, which is something you would probably want to do in a real situation. You can also set up PayPal to handle all the accounting stuff. It's really, really nice come tax season if you do a lot of selling online to get those, to get that paperwork at the end of the year, so you know what numbers to tell the IRS about. It's a whole lot easier. PayPal and Amazon will, when you set up accounts, you can get all of that accounting stuff from there. It's really, really nice. Google and the Apple Store and Microsoft Store, any of Google's stuff. The Play Store, I guess the first one that comes there is selling things directly. The Apple Store, the Microsoft Store, they don't do the paperwork. They'll handle the transaction and then transfer the money to your account afterwards, but you're on your own as far as what to tell the IRS afterwards. So, PayPal and Amazon will handle all that accounting stuff for you, which can be really, really nice. And if you have a database, by default, it's set to go with relational databases. You can modify that a little. If you have something like a non-relational database on Amazon, on AWS or something, but usually if you have a MySQL database somewhere, you can sync to it and they'll handle that. So you can see really, really easy. It's pretty much just filling out the form here. Options for advanced users. Y'all can read through what those questions are. Pages to forward to. I'm sure everybody in our society has seen that, right? After you click the button, it jumps to another page that says your order has been successfully submitted and you'll receive an email as soon as it ships. I guess it's sort of the standard and other things, but just form fill out, and then once you're ready, just create the button. And it seems to be moving. That developers tab on the business PayPal account was new. I signed into my business PayPal business account and then went back to Google and searched for embed PayPal button. And it went right to the old page. So stuff for the website. Let me copy that one. So notice that looks like a little bit more than a button because it's a whole form. Let me save this. A.html. That'll work. If I open that, see what we get. See, there's the button. There's another one that says embed. Let's check what that is. Or email. Or one to send to the email. So whichever one you want, again, just copy and paste the code. Really, really easy. The website one, yeah, that's the one we want. There used to be a third tab on there too. It was this stuff, but it also had like a little square already made above it with a placeholder image and a normal shopping thing. I'm sure everybody knows what the shopping is. I'll just copy this over. Somewhere down here at the bottom. Should probably start putting these things up at the top. Paste those forms in there. So back on our web page. We see that. And there was a third option that I don't see anymore. Maybe it was on a different page, but somewhere on there is one where you get this nice little border thing and your PayPal button's there with all the credit card stuff under it. And then they just have a placeholder image. I'll throw a quick wireframe up there of that. But the normal shopping slot, so that you have that whole thing. Actually, now that I think about it, that would probably need connected to the database. So you probably have to connect to a database to see that option wherever it was. It's on there somewhere, but it also looks like PayPal's transitioning. You can see, once again, it's just copy and paste and get that button. And you have to be signed into your PayPal account in order to get that. So the money will go directly to your PayPal account. Go through that way. And we did see up here the one that makes everybody that people are most often curious about. Well, I done went down to the page, but we saw you can switch the image out. So if you don't want to use that yellow PayPal button and have your own custom button that matches the rest of your website, you can swap it out and just get all the PayPal functionality in the background with your own picture in the foreground. That's what most people choose to do anymore, I think. This PayPal is really nice, especially now that they do all the accounting paperwork for you, because that is that's something that's really, really hard to deal with. What else on here? Oh, maps. That's a useful thing. We might want a map, right? I'll set up another article tag down here. Because as you probably already guessed, since it's part of today's lecture, that's just going to be a copy and paste. I'll use Ivy Tech. Ivy Tech Community College. Sellersburg. There we go. Copy that address and come over to Google Maps. Search for that. There we go. There's our map. Oh, I'm gonna add a marker on here. Logo 158A. I'll put it as student grade. It's fine. Oh. Okay. Choose from all this out. education. Work. Well, that's not what I was trying to do. I was trying to put a little marker here. Well, it's fine. Oh, you can also just search by the addresses. I was trying to put a marker right about here where the classroom I'm standing in right now is, but it's apparently not going to work. So once you get there, get to the area you want, make sure you find the appropriate zooming in and out. Something like that. So we can see a little bit of it. So kind of pick a zoom level, the spot you're looking for. Just come over to menu, and okay, is that the wrong menu? That should be it. Oh, there it is. Under share. I don't know what I was thinking. The menu was already open. If this box over here on the left is closed, then you click the hamburger and that box will pop open. Apparently, if you click the hamburger again, you get a second menu. But if that's closed, clicking that once will open that up, and then you get the share button. You can share it on social media or just embed it. And there's a big button here to copy the HTML code. So get the address you want to put and search for that on Google Maps. Find the appropriate zoom level, and then hit the share button and just choose the copy HTML. That easy. And it's the normal Google Maps. Y'all have probably seen. You still scroll in and out. Switch to the other view. And zoom in on our campus. So we do have a pretty nice campus here. Like right through this door. We go straight down and probably right around here on the first floor. For those who have not been to the campus. We have a really nice campus here. Oh, if you didn't notice from the video, the masks are now optional on campus. So if you want to come to the campus, it's not required anymore. There still seems to be quite a few sitting on tables and stuff. If you want to wear one, I would say if you want to, nobody's going to stop you from wearing one. But it's not. You won't be stopped for not wearing one any longer as of today. If you didn't notice already that I'm not wearing a mask today. Google Maps is really easy. You see all that stuff is pre-built and ready for us to use. And even more, you hopefully noticed a pattern. You'll notice when I was going to find stuff, it was usually under the share option. So go to share, and then embed is the one that will give you the HTML code. The embed option on share, embed, and that'll usually give you HTML code. So there's probably some stuff relevant to your final project that could use some embedded widgets and stuff. Oh, did I say why that wasn't scrolling? Yeah, I grabbed the wrong widget. I grabbed the stationary one. I thought I grabbed the scrolling one. But maps and buttons so we can sell stuff. Track some stock data, see how the button's going. Videos and music that are just coming from those other sites. Or, I guess, traditional way of just including that stuff as a resource. And we built up a website that we think people are going to want to go to, right? That's the point of putting all these together. Be kind of nice if we got money just when people go to the website. That's why we're here, right? Make money with these skills. So there's two of them. Is you're probably aware of this, but just in case it was in the back of your mind and not in the foreground, let's move this to the foreground. Remember what Google is. Google's a business, and their business is not to help you find things. That's not their purpose. Google is a middleman between software developers and advertising agencies. Software as a product directly did not turn out to be a good business model, if y'all hadn't noticed that. We're not graphic designers here, but I assume everybody is at least aware of the reputation Adobe has in that situation. And even Adobe is struggling with software as a product. For the most part, that industry couldn't support itself. That's why it switched to see ads everywhere anymore. Because software developers, in order to keep software progressing, it needs to be paid for. But people don't pay for it, which means then software developers are going to get paid and have to go get other jobs that would actually pay them. But as a tool to subset of advertising, as a tool for a place to put ads, it is a really, really great tool. And that is what Google is. Their business is solely a middleman between programmers, software developers, website developers in our case here, and advertising companies that are ready to pay somebody to show an ad to the general public. Or if you want to show ads, that's Google Ads. So Google Ads, if you need to advertise your stuff, like you developed a great piece, really awesome piece of software that you want to directly sell, and you need to get the word out about it, then Google Ads is where you put your ads on other people's site. And Google Adsense is where other people put stuff on your website, which obviously they really, really want to put their ads on your website, right? That's the whole point of an advertising company. So it's going to be made very, very easy. And Google is a big, powerful middleman connecting you to those. So they streamline the process even further. You will need a Google developer account. That is a one-time $25 fee. Amazon, Apple Store, Microsoft Store, you pay yearly. I believe Apple and Amazon are over $100 a year now. I think Microsoft Store is still hanging in at $99. Those are our big markets. But Google, Play Store, Adsense, Ads, all of them is a one-time $25 fee. So a whole lot cheaper to go to Google or to work than what the others charge. But yeah, you can look into that, or when you go to set it up, it'll just ask you to set up the account. But one-time fee is a whole lot better than that 100+ a year every year. That's why we're here, in order to make money with this stuff. So Google AdSense is the one. See, there's not much, it's basically just stuff talking about this page. It's a big button that says get started. I need to sign in. Oh, yeah. And so here it is. So I have that account, obviously. I've paid Google that $25 6 years ago, I think. Something like that. So yeah, versus the Apple Store by now in that same 6 years would have cost, well, it's gone up. It was 99 back then, and I think it's 119 now. Or last time I looked, it's either 119 or they announced it's going up to 119 each year. So that would be over $600 to sell stuff on the Apple Store by now instead of the Play Store. So just a couple of questions. So what website do you want to put ads on? Like, okay, I got an ad, I got a website I think people are gonna go to. So just copy and paste the URL right in there. Or you can wait and do that. They will give you suggestions. They're an advertising company, so as your site does better, well, they're a middleman. As your business does better, the middleman's gonna make money too. So they will be very, very happy to help you improve people getting to your site. And people are probably going to find your site because Google told them about it in search results. So you're usually going to want to click yes, get suggestions, which is actually what we're going to talk about on Wednesday. I remember this week. This is the Monday, Wednesday class. So on Wednesday, we're going to talk about search engine optimization, increasing our odds, and something that I did not include in that official lecture for that, but I'll say here, is when you click yes on Adsense, that does help your search engine optimization as well. That appears to help your search engine optimization. That's not written on any of the official list of things to do, but oh, and then the third question is, where do they send the check to? So that's it. It's and you'll notice that the website it's going to is optional. Just basically you just tell Google, it's like, okay, I got a spot, you put ads. And then Google's like, okay, where do we send the check? And when you click this button, they'll give you some code to copy and paste into your websites, just like we've been doing all day. And just are already in a div element and everything. It won't validate. I should probably mention that, but that's how easy it is. Just go to Google AdSense and go through there. You fill this out. If you don't already have an account, when you click that blue button there, it will take you to where you can set up a developer account, which is good for Google Play Store, Google APIs. You need to do the not free ones from there, and for AdSense, so you get a check. And then it's based on clicks, so that every time somebody goes to your web page, if they click a link or type the address into the URL, every time somebody goes there, a counter goes up. And then you get money for at the end of the month, you get a check for however many clicks you had of people going to your website. So they assume that they would have seen the ad. So that's how easy it is to monetize a website. Not much to it. Something I probably forgot to mention is every one of our websites, the homework assignment, I just didn't take it out. I don't really stress this point because I put a whole lot of things on the internet that did not validate as far as HTML. As long as you're aware that there is a validator. Is this the one we're using for class? Validator.w3. Oh yeah, that looks like the pictures y'all keep sending me. So we can just copy and paste that, and then we'll get that green box that says, yeah, that validates. So just so you know, Spotify won't validate. YouTube stuff, it's a long way from validating. YouTube stuff will make other things on your page that would have validated previously not validate. I think the Facebook like buttons will validate. And when I was using some of these stock widgets before, some of them would validate, some of them would not. Google Maps won't validate because that's the same as YouTube. Right? Y'all familiar with the story of the connection between YouTube and Google? When they built Google, that original server, the one with Legos, I've probably seen pictures of that. Their friend let them use her garage. In exchange, they helped her get her idea going later. So that's the connection between YouTube and Google. She helped them out by letting, because she had a garage they could use, and they helped her out by making sure her site did well once their thing was up. But neither one of them will pass the HTML W3 worldwide consortium standards for what a web page should be. I always think that's funny that YouTube and Google won't pass the standard, won't pass the validation. But it is what it is. I think the stock widgets, some of them passed last time I did it, and some of them they had to cut some corners to get all this graphics and stuff in there moving nicely. But there's a lot of things out there, and the list doesn't stop there. It goes on and on and on. Oh, I wanted to show one other thing that's related to this, and it doesn't really fit anywhere else. So before we wrap up for today, I want to make sure there's lots of lab time to go out there and find things that already exist relevant to your final project, and then you can spend our lab time today productively adding that to your project. There is one thing though that I didn't have any place else. It didn't fit in any other lectures. So I guess I'll kind of put it here. That's relating to sticking stuff on a page. I need a PDF. And I'm pretty sure the only PDF I have on this computer right now is some homework for my graduate studies up at ISU, and y'all probably don't want to look at my graduate level homework, graduate level mathematics homework. It's messy looking math. So I need another PDF. I'll grab this. I'll just grab our syllabus. So I'll put it in the same folder. Yeah, the math proofs I wrote last weekend for my graduate studies in math up at ISU. But that probably wouldn't be a good example in this class because it's some rather messy looking math if you're not used to 500 level math and beyond. Okay, so yeah, this one just didn't really fit anywhere else. It didn't fit into any of the lectures. I wanted to put it somewhere because, as you all are well aware, we can just open a PDF, right? Well, mine's already set so that we even see that the Google link. It'll open up. Maybe that PDF is relevant to what's on our webpage, and we can put a link to it. Let me do that first. Okay, that PDF is very relevant to our webpage. So I'll throw a link in here, which, since this is going in today's lecture, you probably already figure out we're going to adjust that shortly. With a hyperlink reference to syllabus.pdf. In the anchor tag, in the paragraph, we have nothing fancy there. Now when I reload with all this stuff on here, there's a link. You may have to use your imagination a little bit here because it's just random things to grab to the internet to embed on a web page. Look at that. But in normal situations, your website's going to be styled nicely, right? All your pages go together. You've got some colored palettes that you like, fonts chosen. Your white space is consistent. All those design properties we talked about. So your website's going to look nice. And then when somebody gets down to that PDF that's related to it, they're going to click that. I was like, oh, that messed up all the styles on the web page, on that website. Not really in this example because that thing did not look good to begin with, but if you use your imagination there a little bit and like what some of y'all have already sent me for your final projects, right? You had that style sheet and then suddenly jumped over to a PDF that was just like a printout of something. It doesn't fit anymore. And the reason I wanted to do this is we have a way that we can kind of make that fit in our stuff. So instead of linking to that PDF, there's another tag we can use called an object tag. Which is for arbitrary data types. Data types, maybe custom ones that haven't been defined yet. But we can embed other types of data into our page directly with this object tag. So I really like to do that with PDFs. That way I don't lose the style sheet and everything that looked nice to go over to something that looks like a printout. Let's put the PDF like in a little container on there so that it's just the page, the information is there, but so is the styling. And people don't leave our site to go somewhere else. So there's always that risk that when somebody leaves our site, they're not going to come back to it. So this is for arbitrary data. So the attribute we use to link to it is the data attribute. And then I'll throw in some like width and height. So width is 765. Height attribute of 432. That'll work. You know, so that way the PDF is just kind of embedded in the web page. We still have we still have all the PDF controls. Zoom in, get that table of contents out of the way. Print it from there. Switch to the two-page view. I thought there was still a maximize button somewhere, but I don't see the maximize button. But it gets the information in there, gets that relevant information that's in a PDF onto our website without losing our styling sheet or without the user leaving our page and going somewhere else. What's that? Oh, that's not what I wanted. Oh. There we go. I thought there was a maximize button here. Actually, I thought the present button maximized, but it doesn't seem to be doing that. Maybe they got rid of it. But anyway, I thought it kind of fit with that embedded stuff. It's something that's pre-made. And well, we could show a PDF in a browser window. We lose all the work we put into making the website look really nice. And somebody jumps over and just looks at the stuff that looks like it came out of a printer. It don't quite match. So I didn't have any place else to throw that in there. So this place seemed like a good one. And that is the object tag. And we link to another file with the data attribute. I use it most often with PDFs. And PDFs are a very common format, but it is for arbitrary data. So if you have something that you just want to show, it does have to be something the browser will recognize, but the browser knows most file types. If you have a file type the browser's not going to know, like something you just created yourself, you would need to transmit the description of it so that the browser would know about it. That would happen in the server-side script. But things that already exist, especially the standards, PDFs, images, anything that is fairly common, the browser would know about it, or you just try to open it with the browser and see if it works. If it does, the object tag gives you a nice way to embed it right in your page. It's the data and set up the width and height that you want for it. Kind of fit with this lecture, it definitely didn't fit with any of the other things we've looked at. But the general idea there, maybe there's something on your site that would benefit from some of those things. Some sort of music or videos you can find on Spotify or YouTube. TikTok videos do the same thing. I guess I could try one more time. I did share without sound, right? Because that was very, okay, yeah, so no sound here. That was kind of problematic for a classroom. I was not expecting the logged out. So anyway, you see the share button. I can do it without the sound. Yeah. Apparently today's just an F-bomb day on TikTok. People can't even share videos of their pets without cussing about them. I have no idea what's going on with that, why it's so much or why TikTok is recommending that, but click share. It's on every video, and then right up at the top is embed, and then there is there's your HTML code to copy over your page when you have something appropriate. So maybe I should have just signed in instead of trying to go with the general public one. But yeah, TikTok seems to be, without signing in, TikTok is determined to use videos that are full of the F word to recommend to the general public today. Not a good introduction for if people sign up to TikTok for the first time today. That's odd, but that embed one's always there. So if you have some videos that you would want to include that are relevant to your site, then you grab that. And there's lots of, yeah, that's true. Comment in the chat room that it is mainly for 14 years. Most popular amongst 14-year-olds, teenagers. So that does definitely catch their attention. But I know lots and lots of things where people are polite and civil to each other on TikTok videos. So it is possible to make a 30-second video without cussing somebody out. But wouldn't think so from those suggestions. But you can probably find stuff like that. There's lots and lots of things out there ready to, like you saw, they give you the code. It's just a matter of copying and pasting and then figuring out where to put it on your page. That easy. So that is my suggestion for lab time today. About an hour and a half. As always, for the next hour and a half, I'm not going to be doing anything except sitting by the computer waiting for questions to come in. But this is a really easy one. That's my recommendation, is find some stuff that will be useful for your final project. But please use this time productively to learn IT stuff. That's what we're doing here. As always, text messages and Ivy Learn messages are the two things that make noise on my phone. and I can jump back on a Zoom call in a split second from now to 4:50. Any other time, it might be a slight delay before we can hop on Zoom, but otherwise, just let me know if you have any questions. Does anybody have any questions before I stop the recording? Okay, I assume the silence means no questions. So y'all have a great day, and I will see you on. There's a question. So what was your question about the report? It does not have to be. The point of it is just new technology. So if you find some new technology that you're interested in, I'll look that up. The point of it is just staying up to date on the field. And I think you have a couple of those due. So yes. Yeah, because you're in the game dev class too, right? In the 248. So I put them in every class this semester. So yes, any interesting new technology, if you know something interesting, write about it, because the point of that is staying up to date on the field. It takes a minute to get in. We've seen it a couple times, right? Textbooks are a little out of date because it takes a long time for the author to put stuff together, then pass that through a team of editors, and then get that onto those big, massive printing presses, and then binding and on trucks and distributed to schools all across the world. And then that textbook selected and lecture plans put together. So there's a delay there. So academia is always a little behind the modern world. So the point of that is to make sure you know how to stay up to date. So as long as you can stay up to date, I am fine with it. Did that answer your question? All right. Any other questions? I'll do the countdown again. All right. Y'all have a great day. I will see you soon. Let me know if any questions show up.